Welcome to your new home. Meet the rest of our corps. We have Sergeant Renouf Aucoin and Officer Patty Montclair Ido.
My English is not so good.
Maybe you shouldn't talk then.
Mais il est trop chaud. He understands French. People end up in Saint-Pierre for one or two reasons. They fall in love with it, or they're running from a past they want to leave buried.
Be careful around Fitz. Donnie's got a lot of demons that tend to appear when no one expects it.
It needs to be off the books.
Help!
You can't do boats, you can't do heights. How are you even a cop?
So we are here with the stars of CBC's newest drama series, St. Pierre. We have Josephine, Jobert, and Allan Hawco. Welcome. Thanks so much for joining us.
Thanks for having us.
Congratulations on this brand new series. Allan, let's start with you because you created this show. This is very exciting for you, I'm sure. Now, your character, Inspector Donnie Fitzpatrick, digs too deeply into a local politician's activity, and then he got exiled to work in St. Pierre, which is a French territory nestled in the Atlantic Ocean just off of Newfoundland. Tell us what inspired you to create this storyline. What is the show all about?
Well, you just nailed a good slug line for like what Fitz's connection to this thing is, and he kind of gets in hot water, and you discover that this guy that he's arrested, the premier, he was there to question him about a case. Turns out the premier, this fictional premier of Newfoundland, is living in Fitz's old house with his ex-wife and his kids. So it looks like a personal vendetta, but in actuality, he was trying to question this guy and see if he had details on the case. Things got out of hand. He arrests the premier, and the video of it goes viral because he arrests them at Fitz's kids' school, which is where the premier was. He was picking up Fitz's own children that day. That's where he knew where to find him. So through all that, that's backstory. Fitz ends up in St. Pierre, thrust into the middle of this brand new world, this beautiful, really interesting, strange place with this new police force, and he ends up meeting Josephine's character, Arch, and this unlikely pair. They're forced into a level of partnership, and not sure how you feel about it, but cool
Allan, what inspired you to create this storyline in particular?
Well, the place, really, because the name of the show is St. Pierre, because the show is a character in the series. The place is a character in the series, sorry. And the show is the place. So it's kind of like, it's this unique, really interesting place that has a really deep connection with where I'm from in Newfoundland. We have a deep connection with St. Pierre. There's like, they're out there alone in the middle of the North Atlantic together, clung to each other, yet separate. It's a French territory. It's Europe. It's got European money. It's got European electricity. It's got, it is a member of the EU. It is a part of France, but it is of Canada. So there's just something about that place, these people, that situation. It just struck me all at once.
That's amazing. Now, Josephine, the show is about the two of you, two seasoned officers with very different policing skills and approaches. And as Allan said, you're forced together to partner up and make the relationship work. You play Arch. What is it about this role that attracted you the most? And tell us a bit more about your character.
I love everything about her. When I read episode 1, it just appeared to me that she was an amazing woman and I really wanted to play that part. Everything is on paper. You don't have to create the character. It's already like she's there, she exists. I am so proud that I was able just to be her. She's so strong, independent. What you see is what you get. She's loyal. She loves justice. When she has something in mind, she just goes for it. She's everything I want to be. She's everything I hope people will want to be. Honestly, she changed my life for the best. Sometimes you put your own personality into characters, but it was the other way around. Like it's kind of a, she helped me becoming like a better person, and my life changed because of her. I know every time I say this, but it's true.
No, it's really
it's so true. You know, the fact that someone like I didn't even know like months ago just thought about creating this character is so amazing to me. It's like it was written in the universe. I needed this role. I needed this experience in my life right now. I needed it. It was vital. So I couldn't be more grateful for all of this. And like Arch and Fitz, it's just at the beginning of episode 1, she's not very happy to be forced to team up with this guy. She thinks he's a joke, and she doesn't need anyone. Her whole life, she's been dealing with her own problems on her own. So for her, he's more like a burden more than anything. But it's like, I don't need that guy. Like, Marcus, what are you doing this to me? But then they will have to work on a case. And very quickly, she will find out that he's serious. He's a good guy. Maybe there's more to dig in. And they are very similar together. They have secrets that they don't want to share. They try to get to know each other. But one step at a time. Like, there's a scene when I said, like, baby steps. Like, don't push it. Like, you know, okay, like, we get to know each other. Like, just my own pace. I'll tell you who I am. I'll tell you more about my past when I'll be ready. And he respects that, and they kind of play with it together. So the dynamic is just super cool and supernatural, and I love it.
And speaking of dynamic, Allan, I can imagine you as the creator had a hand in picking the character of Arch. What was it like searching for the right Arch?
It's interesting because we saw a lot of really wonderful people, a lot of real wonderful actors, actually, and it was great. And you're going through this process of trying to figure out, like, what are these people and who are these people, and you think you have an idea what it is. Robina and I, my co-showrunner and I, we have this concept of what a person is and what a character is, but you really need an actor to find it and bring it and show you, really. And I knew with Fitz, obviously, because it's been living with him for a long time. But I didn't really know who Arch was really until I met Josephine. And that's when both Robina and I were like, oh, that's fully it. There was like and you can't rely on that as a writer. You really got to try to find what that character is. But there is a thing where something needs to happen where an actor needs to own it and become it and be it and show you what it is. And that's exactly what happened when I met Josephine on a Zoom call. And it wasn't just me, it was everybody. It was unanimous. Mm-hmm. It's like, oh, and it's nothing to take away from all the other actors who auditioned for all the other parts. There were some really good actors who auditioned for a number of the parts, but in this case, it was just like, well, they're great. This is different. This is you. And you're from France. And then it turns out she's also, by the way, like the most wonderful person to work with, because you don't know what you're getting, right? You go into like a speed dating scenario where you don't know what you're getting. I don't know what I'm getting. And you're like, okay, blind date, sorry, I meant to say. And then you're like, okay, well, here we go. Now go work together for the, hopefully for the next 10 years and just hope and just make it work. And it's like, Josephine showed up to our crew, our set, and was immediately at home, made everybody feel like they were at home, like it was her set in the most generous of ways, as a leader, as a presence, as a personality, just warm, wonderful, and then prepared and ready and open in the work. And it's like this thing happened where we were like, holy shit. Oh, okay.
This is happening.
That's happening.
Awesome.
We'll just let that, okay, that's done. But that part's done. Great. And when you're in a position of like, with a lot of plate spinning in a job like this, and someone shows up and goes like, I've got this, don't worry about it ever again. You're like, oh, thank you. such an integral part of being cast. It's like, being one of the lead cast. It's like, whoa, it's like it's a big leap for us. So
Now,
we're not crying in
Josephine.
this interview, which
No,
is
no
we do a lot of crying in this when we talk about
Yeah.
this stuff.
Right. Now, Josephine, what was going through that moment when you got that phone call that you're going to play a lead role in this drama series?
Okay. So we did the Zoom call. I was super excited. I wanted this job. I had to wait approximately a week. That felt like forever. And then, so my American managers were in charge of this project. Like, okay, so we have a time difference. I was waiting for the call. Like, I was like, is my phone gonna ring? It was approximately 1 a.m. My phone rang and I knew, like, I saw the name of my managers and I was like, okay, if the answer is no, there's no way they know what time it is in France. There's no way they're gonna call me at that time of the night to tell me bad news. So it has to be yes. I was shaking. I remember I was like, I went to the bathroom. I was like, hi. And there's a long pause. And Josephine, yes. How are you doing? I'm good. Just tell me. And it's a yes. You have to. I screamed. I was shaking. I think I cried. Because like I wanted this job so bad. Like we go like the auditioning process is so hard because like you receive an email and then you kind of you imagine yourself having the job and sometimes you're gonna work like in Canada, in anywhere like Spain. So you get involved and you put everything you have into the audition and then it doesn't work. So it's just like
And speaking of process, Josephine, did you do anything in particular to prepare you for this role?
No, because as I said, it's on paper. It's like it was given to me. Just do whatever is written on the paper, and it will be right.
You make it sound very simple.
But because it's so written, sometimes it's difficult. Actors are not really. It's not clear. Like who are they? Like it's the way she talks, the way she interacts with other characters, and also I don't. Even if I had to play the Joker, for example, that was very deep. Like we have to go deep. I find the character when I'm in costume on set with the other actors. This is where the magic happens for me. Some people have to get ready like weeks and weeks, like before in advance. I don't need to. It's just the magic happens when I'm dressed up as the character and on set with the crew, and it was just so natural and simple, which is a blessing. And I don't know, like. When I'm art, it's just like I feel like I'm becoming another person. I can be like I'm very joyful. We play around, we joke around, and we can just laugh until the very last second before the action. As soon as we say action. So tell me, it's easy to go on and on.
And it's that dynamic between you two that's the most important, right? Because you two play the lead. Now, Allan, lastly, what are you hoping for people to take away? Why should people watch this show?
I mean, why should they? I hope they do. It's the kind of thing where you make a show, you put something out there, you want people to be engaged, entertained, and captured by what it is, the story is, the place, these characters. There's a lot of unhappy stuff we're forced to view and experience in the world right now, and this is a departure from that. It's got a familiarity to it in its procedural thing. There's a safety in knowing this is the structure of a show like this. I think that's kind of why they're making a comeback. There's like there's a familiarity there, but it's also different. It's outside that box in many ways. It's a new place. It's new people. And I think it's a unique take on those people and that unique location. So,
and it's made in Canada.
and that's
right?
it's made in Canada and France. So there you go.
France, that's awesome. And we're gonna wrap this up with rapid fire questions, real quick, you guys. Okay, you ready?
Go.
Okay.
Allan, who would you want to play you in a movie and why?
me, but 10 years ago, so I'd look a little bit younger.
If you were to pick like a celebrity, who would you want you to play you? Is there anybody that you can think of right away?
A more famous version of me. No, I'm kidding. Oh, I don't know. No actor on earth is going to answer that without saying themselves.
Of course.
I can't even get the part of my own part. Like, come on.
No, Brad Pitt.
All right.
I mean, people do say I look like Brad Pitt. People
Yeah.
do say that.
Yeah.
There
they
you
say that.
go.
A lot.
But
Yeah.
if he was dead for 25 years and had been rotting,
Right. Josephine,
No.
if you can invent a holiday, what would you celebrate?
Puppies.
yeah. Good one.
Okay, I love that.
yeah,
Allan, what are the 2 things that people do on set that bother you the most?
Pet peeves. No, you have
Pet
pet peeves.
peeves.
But
That's it.
on set? Nothing. Or in general, not in our show, like nothing. But it's your question. You
I don't
answer.
really have that.
No,
I don't really have an answer to that
after
question.
spitting on you, you're okay with that? What's your
None of.
On our show, I
Okay.
mean, if you're no, I don't have any. We
Okay.
yeah.
Okay, let's move on. Josephine,
I know. Can I?
Oh, go ahead.
I think about something. People who sneeze very loudly.
Screaming sneezers.
Oh,
Screaming
That's a good one.
sneezers.
That's a good
Sneezing, no
one.
problem.
Yeah.
Anyone can sneeze, but you
Yeah.
don't. What people don't realize, you don't need to activate your vocal cords to sneeze.
And we
You
had
do
a
that
few
on
on set.
hold.
Like,
It's like you don't need to scream and sneeze. You don't.
Yeah,
I don't
I
know where
got
that
that.
came
No.
from or why we do
and
that as
especially
people.
not on a movie set.
So
We
Joseph,
don't want this.
we have the same.
Pet peeves.
That's
yeah.
the same one. Yeah.
And the list is very
I love
long.
it. I love it. Josephine, what animal do you think best represents your personality?
I'm panicking. Can I answer for Arch
Sure.
instead of me? How do you?
Oh,
Panther.
Panther.
Panther. Okay, and
Yeah.
why?
Because it's sexy, it's mysterious, it's wild,
Ooh.
it's just a little bit scary, it's smart, it's fast.
All right. Allan, top 2 podcasts that you listen to.
People who stop on escalators and don't walk or move out of the way is another pet peeve, but it's not about set.
no.
Just wanted to throw that out there. People who
Oh,
stop
yeah,
and
okay.
Same. Oh, the
Oh,
list is
got
so.
it.
Don't start me with it because it's gonna take ages.
when they walk out the door and just stop and block the doorway, people who do that. People who
Yeah.
do video calling without headphones.
Oh, yeah, okay. And it's
Or
so
listen
loud,
to
everyone
their
can hear.
phone. Yeah, it's just
Yeah.
kind of disrespectful.
Okay, now it's all coming out, Allan. Before you didn't think of any.
But none of those
None
things are on
set.
set. None of those things happen on
Right,
set.
just in general.
My favorite 2 podcasts, I listen to this is going to sound boring and not true, but it is true. I listen to the Wall Street Journal, The Journal, every morning.
Oh, okay.
And then I listen to the Daily podcast from the New York Times Daily podcast every morning.
Okay,
and,
love that.
It's just a great way to be able to digest some news from both sides of the spectrum, because the Wall Street Journal is more right wing and the New York Times is accused of being left wing. So it's kind of like you get sort of different takes on similar world events and stuff, and they're both like a good 20, 25 minutes. So it's a nice way to kind
Okay.
of start my day.
Start the day with the news. And Josephine, lastly, top 2 music genres you listen to on Spotify the most.
It's so diverse. Oh my God, like I listen to
Jumps around from every.
everything. Yeah. Oh my God, I need an answer. In my playlist right now, I have, for example, Careless Whisper.
Ooh, okay.
You're gonna dance again. And
Yes.
I tell you,
90s hip-hop?
Nespresso. Da-da-da-da,
Oh, yeah, yeah.
da-da-da.
Oh, Sabrina
for-
Carpenter.
Yes. Among
It's
some of the songs, but yeah. So it's very
okay. And Allan, just curious, what are your 2 top 2 albums on Spotify this year?
I fly a lot, and I listen to Radiohead. I listen to a mix of Radiohead, and because it really relaxes me and really chills me out, puts me in a zen place where it's really easy to sleep, and yeah, I have a real mix of Radiohead, I have to say.
Okay, you're a Radiohead fan. Good to know.
Yeah, it's
Well,
not
you
like I
guys,
want to go to the concert, but I do like to chill out listening to it. Like I wouldn't go. It's not a concert I'd run to, maybe, but I would be like, it really makes me sleepy.
And a song that we have in common with the entire crew is one of the Stromae song. Alors, danse, dun, 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 dun.
Oh, our show has some
Yes,
sick music in it.
very, very good music.
Our
Yeah.
show has a pretty cool playlist attached to it.
Yeah.
Oh, we gotta go.
another,
So
another thing to look forward to. Thank you guys so much. Congratulations.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Congrats.